as I'm sure it would be for every parent, the time was such a dramatic, traumatic experience for my parents. They really struggled to cope with the situation. One thing it did do, although it hurt both my parents immensely, exactly the same, my mum became a harder woman. Now, please don't think I'm meaning that she was hard on the children and her husband, but in the way that she lived her life was harder. She thought differently and acted a little bit differently. But these kind of situations are going to change people, as it changed me. So, just after Andrew died, I had to start high school. High school was fun. High school was great. But the first day I arrived late with my sister. We were asked to start late and not just arrive, so as that the teachers could speak to us. The headmaster welcomed me into the school in a different way that all the other children would be welcomed because of the death. It didn't take long. I started fighting. I started fighting like fuck. Big children, much bigger, older children. Anybody who would want to stand in my way would find a fight. Because I grew up on a council estate. I grew up in a very, very beautiful place, yet tough place. And boy, could I fight. I could fight like hell. But after about 2 years, that stopped. But what did happen was, I do believe it's because of the death. I started to eat. And I ate more and more. My parents allowed all of us children to eat when we wanted, and not necessarily have to eat when the parents were eating. Or we would eat with the parents, and when we'd finish, we'd go and make a sandwich. They'd go do whatever they need to do. Sometimes Mum would have to go to work at night, and I would eat and watch television, and I became big. I don't want to start converting pounds and kilograms, but I remember at 13 years old, I was 13 stone. At 15 years old, I was 15 stone. At 19 and a half years old, I was 19 and a half stone. I was big. I was very big. I was a short, fat, ginger kid. I really was. I never ran. I didn't do any sports. In fact, I did do a sport, but it was out of school. My mum was the coach of a rounders team, which is, for those people that have never heard of rounders, rounders is a game, a female game of baseball, but not as big of a pitch. Boy, was I good. I was real good at this girls' game. But I also had coaching. I had coaching from my mother, and the team that my mum coached, I would go with her everywhere. I spent most of my youth that way, that me and my mum were together. Maybe I was dragged with her everywhere because she felt uncomfortable leaving me in case something should happen like it happened to Andrew. Or maybe I was just a mummy's boy. I don't know. But I was good at rounders. But you only need to do short bursts with rounders. It's not like you have to run for 3 miles. So school was over. Just a couple of years ago, I accidentally bumped into my brother Andrew's best friend in Morrison's supermarket, and We had a good old chat, and he gave me his email address, which was an MSN Hotmail address. So I entered it into my laptop when I arrived home, back to Bulgaria. And so one day we got chatting, and then a couple of weeks later we got chatting again, and I was explaining to him that I was going to Spain. So I went to Spain, and when I returned back, I was explaining to him that I'd been there working, and that it was a place called Lloret de Mar. And he told me that that was the place where Andrew and all of his friends went on holiday before he died. And I was flabbergasted. Absolutely flabbergasted. Flabbergasted. Did I just say flabbergasted? So he scanned all the photographs from the holiday and he sent them to me. So I had a good look at those and compared them to the photographs and videos that I took while I was in Lloret de Mar. In fact, if you look at my videos, I've got some there of Lloret de Mar. So I suppose I just want to. I've never ever spoken about what's happened to me or my brother to anybody who was outside of the family. I suppose if people know who I am from where I grew up, they would know that my brother died. But I've never. Some girlfriends have known that I had a brother who died of cancer, and that's all that they know. I've never explained anything to anybody. Never wanted to get into the conversation, but now I think at the age of 36 I'm ready to speak about it, and I'm certainly not ready to move on. The pain is immense. It's not something you can just forget about, or it's so difficult to deal with. I mean, I'm talking to you people who you've all had somebody die in your family. You've all had somebody pass away. So maybe you know what I'm going through. Maybe you know what I've been through. But by Christ, it did change me. And maybe speaking now might change me also. Okay, so thank you very much for listening to my sad, sad song. Every rose has its thorns. Peace out.